Mr. Boo.
Hey, it is Mr. Boo, Entertainment Guru, and I am here. If you've seen the thumbnail and you've clicked on this video and you are watching, yes, it is not only a review for the movie Winnie the Pooh, B-L-O-O-D and Honey. You can read what I'm spelling in the thumbnail, but it is also going to touch on just what happened on October 4th with a classroom full of kids being subjected to like 30 minutes of this movie and what they would have seen in that 30 minutes and just how horrible that was for them. But yeah, starting off, it is a slasher film. It is not your typical, Christopher Robin. It is not your everyday cartoon Winnie the Pooh. It is a slasher film. Yeah, this man is creepy. The effects on it were really good, at least on Winnie the Pooh. Piglet could have done some work. But basically the basis of the story is Christopher Robin goes off to college. They're like not able to function on their own without Christopher Robin. So they start getting hungry. And in the first few minutes of this film, with even animation, they're skinny, they're creepy, they're starving, and then they cannibalize. They make dinner out of one of their own. Already red flags. Already just red flags. Okay, I don't even know what to say. Let me get into the first 30 minutes of this. Yes, this teacher in Florida, he unfortunately showed this film to the wrong audience for 30 minutes. And in the first 30 minutes, you've got that depiction of starvation, of making a meal out of your friend, being left alone and desolate, just despair, and it's dark. And then you've got, the opening scenes of how creepy these people look. Winnie the Pooh looks especially just terrifying. And there's already a, replacing the K-I double hockey stick word with takedown, there's already a takedown with a woman, and it's classic, and it's not too bad, but like for fourth graders, then it creepily shows them kind of come in on Christopher Robin, and it starts, and it doesn't take long for there to be two takedowns. The one I just mentioned, and another takedown in the first 30 minutes, and it is brutal. It is brutal. If it wasn't for the stupid CGI red stuff that they put in form of actual Karo syrup, even colored water at this point, it's brutal. Okay, it's brutal. And not only is it brutal, ladies and gentlemen, this is fourth graders. It deals with a woman's shirt being ripped off. And granted, I'd take it and give it credit that the movie did not focus on nudity. That is a horror slasher film trope. But at this point, she has no shirt. You see skin, you see everything. And then it goes into basically some smashing and your typical how hamburger is made. So that's as far as I'm going to say. But then about maybe right where the point where the teacher, and at this point, I guess the kids were wanting it shut off, where he shut it off around the 30-minute mark. They are, for a lack of better terms, they have Christopher Robin tied up. And they are not playing very well with their friend. This is not how you would want your imaginary friend to treat you. The game they are playing is probably worse than what Jigsaw would do, because at least he would have you be able to escape it. But yes, unfortunately, let's just discuss how this may have happened. Someone didn't read the labels, look at the artwork, watch any of the movie prior to these kids who have, I believe the article said, picked it out themselves. You are an adult, you are a guardian in this position, you are in charge of these fourth graders in your classroom, you are a teacher. You have a duty to look at this. And as an entertainment guru, I'm going to tell everyone out there, all you parents, there are rating systems for a reason. Even on streaming services, if it was streamed, it says in the left-hand corner that it will involve violence, the red stuff, gore, suspense, drama, any type of self-harm. Like, it will tell you why it is rated the rating that it is. It is not rated R because it's really good for kids. I feel bad. I feel like this was a lesson to be learned, and I hope he learned his lesson. I hope, and I did read that the school had dealt with it, and I hope that if he was fired and he's ever around children again, even if it's his own children or his grandchildren or any underage people that this may be triggering to and give nightmares and possible therapy. Do not show movies that you don't know anything about to children. And I hope that maybe one day his life and career isn't ruined. It was obviously a mistake. It said Winnie the Pooh. We know that is a classic. This could have happened with The Mean One, as we all grew up with The Grinch. If you're not paying attention, these films can be a little off, a little helter-skelter. Like, you're like, oh, it's The Grinch, or oh, it's Winnie the Pooh. And if you're not paying attention to that, or the rating, or the imagery, or the box art, or anything like that, it could happen. But then the sound effects, the children wanting it turned off, like, what were you doing? Like, those are signs you need to get up and you need to help these kids. Even if it was your mistake, you need to come to the rescue. So with all of that said, I really, really hope this guy can get over that, learn his lesson, and move on with his life, and that these kids are okay, and the nightmares cease, and there's not too much therapy involved. But going into the actual review of the rest of the movie, it wasn't bad. It was a slasher film, and Winnie the Pooh is scary. He's terrifyingly scary. He's big. The mask moves really well. Everything was well done with some of the takedowns, especially the more practical ones. I am not a fan of the CGI red stuff. I'm not a fan. At least use water or Karo syrup or thickened water or something with a little food coloring. All that it takes, rather than spend the money on computer effects that aren't quite there. Yes, water, rivers, oceans, whatever. High budget, high quality CGI in that case is good, but that kind of took away from the film a little bit. But I do give credit to it being original. Now, I get it. There was a mistake that happened because, it's Winnie the Pooh. And whether you put B-L-O-O-D and honey in front of it and a rating mistakes, obviously one had happened. A big one, wrong audience. October 4th in Florida. Sorry, I feel so bad for that whole situation. I'm a big fan of slashers, so as it was, I liked it. I'm a big fan of B films. I'm a big fan of originality. It wasn't a reboot. It wasn't a recut. It wasn't a remake. It wasn't a retelling in any sense of what you would think. It was a reimagining of what would happen if, Christopher Robin up and left these people and they went feral. I think it was great in the fact of the takedowns and the fear, and it didn't follow all the tropes of having to show too much nudity. It didn't have to show too much blood and gore on every kill. I thought it was unique. I thought it was a good watch. It's on Peacock. That's where I streamed it. And the only reason I really did was because of this whole thing I've been reading about with the Florida situation. But I'm actually kind of glad I did because it's not bad. My thumb's not up. It's not down. It's kind of like right here. I know it only got like 3% on Rotten Tomatoes, but again, I'm not the tomato guy. I've said that before in a walk and talk video. So my honest opinion is like 2.5 stars. It's a 2.5. It is what it is. It's decent. If you're going to have a night with the boys, a night with the wife, a night with your spouse of any gender, or just a night on Halloween, or you're having a spook fest or a slasher fest, it is worth giving a shot. It is free over on Peacock with your subscription, and granted it was shown to the wrong audience and it kind of has that wrong following now to it. It is not a bad movie, and minus the mistake and the accident that happened, again, my thoughts go out to those children. They should not have been susceptible to like that much of this movie. But again, my thoughts go out to the teacher because, if it was a mistake, if it was on purpose, shame on you. Shame on you. But again, the practical effects were good. The mask on Winnie the Pooh was good. Piglet could have used work. It was a unique, different storytelling, and it stayed right with... there wasn't really a dull moment once the takedowns started happening. But look at this guy. He is terrifying. Why would you show that to children? But nonetheless, 2 out of 5... just half a thumb up or down. It was a really decent movie, though. I think if you're a slasher film, he's kind of like Jason. He's unstoppable. He's big. 100 Acre Voorhees, 100 Acre Lake. He reminded me a lot of Michael and Jason. So Haddonfield the Pooh. I don't know, but there was a lot of good takedowns. Like I said, practically done. One of them was very smashing. And on that note, If you feel like you have the power of Winnie the Pooh, why don't you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and if you're being chased by this big psycho bear, you might want to ring the notification bell. Maybe help will come. But until next time, I'm Mr. Boo Guru. You're the audience. I hope you were entertained, and let's read labels. Let's watch things. Let's be careful what we show our children, and let's enjoy these movies on our own as adults. Until next time, stay entertained, and I will see you then.